I want to begin my comments this evening about the Save America Act and why I have spoken out in opposition to this measure, not because I disagree with what my colleague from Utah has shared, that it should be the privilege allowed to U.S. citizens, this privilege of the vote. And I also would agree that asking for valid ID in order to participate in voting is not an unreasonable thing. In fact, my state certainly requires that, and I think most others do. But as with so much that we deal with, it's not just in the headline, it's not just in the top line, it's how would this apply in your given situation. And as a senator that comes from a big state, some would say a very unique state, a very complicated state. I don't think that there's too many where you have dog races that go just about 1,000 miles and we celebrate them. And the fact that the trail that these animals and their mushers took goes through an area where, yes, people live, but we're not connected by any roads. The way that we get around is just a little bit different from other folks. And so recognizing and appreciating the distinctions that come to bear when you take a measure that is good in purpose. Citizens should be allowed to vote, valid ID should be required, but you got to peel back the cover here and see how is this going to be implemented. And so I want to focus. I know that there's multiple versions of the bill. The senator from Utah just pointed to that. I want to speak to the substitute amendment to Senate Bill 1383, which we have now, and focus on the particular challenges and the practical challenges that it creates for a state like Alaska, that is 1/5 the size of the United States with a population of just over 700,000 people. And so it's the challenges that we have specifically with registration, with the requirements for a photo ID, and then I'll speak a little bit to the mail-in voting limitation. One of the first places to start is you're saying, all right, if you said, Lisa, you don't oppose the intent of this, and you come from a big state, and there may be logistical challenges in implementing it, when does all this come into play? Well, that's an important consideration, because as the bill is drafted right now, these provisions are effective upon passage of the bill. And so that means that Alaska and every other state is going to have to comply with a new set of laws that, in my state situation, that contradict our state laws. And we are in the midst of an election cycle. We are less than 8 months away now from our general election. In addition to immediate implementation of the provisions under this bill, there's no support that comes to the state. When I say support, there's no federal resources that come and say, all right, you need to figure out how you can get more photo identification, mobile units out to remote areas where it is hard to do. You need resources, you need people in order to absorb this, the numbers that you will see when people come to your division of elections or your public assistance office with original documents. You need more folks. Well, here's the money. Well, we're not helping with that. So the states would be forced to bear the entire cost of implementation right away, just right away. So this is a tall order. And again, you're trying to stand all of this up while we are in the midst of an active election year. And certainly in my state, we would be redirecting. If we had to comply with a federal law, we would redirect funds from elsewhere. But this is just, okay, it's a logistical challenge. Is it insurmountable? Maybe not. Is it going to be really hard to do in certain places? I think that's fair to say. So maybe I'm starting with the easiest point here, which is the implementation on the timeline that this bill outlines